I guess it's hard to imagine how difficult it is for a group of people who have a member of the National Academy of Sciences and someone who's a fellow of the American Geophysical Union and already graduating really talented people to be told that they don't deserve to really have a PhD program. So we started the Department of Marine Science started in about 1977 and 78, going to the administration and saying, I think we can justify having a doctoral program. So basically, all we were graduated was master's degrees. And basically, we were told no. And then eventually, the university decided to run it up to the Board of Regents, and the Board of Regents said, well, maybe, but then Florida State objected and said, no, there's no reason to have two PhD programs. We could handle everything. And they very kindly offered to have two of our faculty on every 5-member committee. And the degrees, of course, would be awarded through Florida State. And we, of course, leapt at the opportunity to join them at the hip and have a PhD program. So several reviews were made of our proposal by Don Gorsline from Southern California, by Carl Tarikian, a member of the National Academy of Sciences. Everybody's very favorable about us having a PhD program. And yet the Board of Regents were resistant because, I mean, let's face it, University of Florida and Florida State basically still controlled everything that happened academically in the state of Florida. In fact, Ken Fennion and I went to Boca Raton for a meeting of the Board of Regents to make a presentation about how much it meant and how great it would be to have a PhD program for the College of Marines, or the Department of Marine Science, sorry. They changed the time for the meeting, and so that we were late, and they had already gone through that part of the agenda. We weren't there. And when we went up and said, look, we'd really appreciate it, we drove all the way across the state, 5 hours, and they told us, no, you can't, we don't want you to speak. And so it turns out Paul Tash, who eventually became the CEO of the Tampa Bay Times, was a brand new reporter. This was like the second article he'd ever written. And so we went and complained to him, and that he wrote it up in the Times. But he also, after interviewing Kent and myself, interviewed Betty Ann Staten, who was the chairperson of the Board of Regents, and she called us academic bozos. She referred to Fennion and myself. Oh, it was terrific. We really enjoyed seeing that, printed. And so anyway, that all led up to basically the university essentially, again, trying to get a PhD program, and their initial vote was no. And then I think everybody knows what happened, that one of our business leaders stepped in behind the scenes, never said a word about it, but convinced the chair of the Board of Regents that it would be really smart to vote yes. And 2 weeks later, it was a positive vote. We got our PhD program.
Well, and who was that?
Jack Lake.
Jack Lake.
He would never talk about it. He would only smile.
So we do have that written.
He was a killer, and thankfully he was our killer. Whew. That guy was amazing. Yeah, he told her, basically, she had a yacht here at the St. Pete Yacht Club, and she loved to come over with her husband and sail. She lived in Orlando. And so Lake said, well, Betty Ann, I understand you really like coming over here and sailing. And she, oh, Jack, it's really great. That yacht club's fantastic. We have our vessel there, And he said, Betty Ann, we have a marine science group here, and they really need a PhD program. She said, yeah, Jack, but you know what? We just can't. There's no justification for that. He said, Betty Ann, you got 2 weeks. And if you haven't done it in 2 weeks, your yacht goes. And she said, oh, Jack, you couldn't do it. And what we heard that he said was, try me.